Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Judge Lal, and we are going to begin with the Fulton State Court's expedited accusation calendar. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Upon being arrested, the Solicitor General's Office of Fulton County, which is the prosecutor, has already accused the defendants of one or more misdemeanor offenses. Hence, the case is bound over to State Court of Fulton County, and this would be the defendant's initial appearance before a judicial officer. All right, let's see. Is it courtroom 2? All right, courtroom 2. With regards to the individuals who are in courtroom 2, these are active criminal cases, so please remember your rights. The first one's the right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, we do have attorneys from the Public Defender's Office or the Conflict Defender's Office who will be able to represent you. Who do we have in courtroom 2 at the present time?
Position number 6, Mr. Myers.
Okay. Mr. Myers, all right. This is, sorry, Francois, did you have a question? We good? Okay. This is Joshua Jeremiah Myers, position number 6, accused in case number 22 CR 000668G, charged with hit and run, failure of the driver to return to the scene of the accident. The alleged incident date is September 8th, 2021. Mr. Myers, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Wanda Gant.
You got 12 total?
Yes.
12 total. Last arrest was March 2020, probation violation. I also had a March 2020 fugitive from justice out of New Orleans that was dismissed. March 2020, 2 counts of reckless conduct. 2017, disorderly conduct, bail jumping conviction. 2017, failure to appear. 2015, shoplifting conviction. 2012, failure to appear for suspended license. He had a 2017 arrest in Louisiana, bench warrant. He has a fugitive from justice hold.
Understood. Is that the New Orleans case?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond. That surety was already preset by the magistrate court, Your Honor. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and no driving. Your Honor, the state is making this recommendation because we do believe the defendant is a flight risk and has a risk of reoffending. The defendant's license is presently suspended, and he is not even supposed to be operating a vehicle without a valid license or permit under Georgia law. The state also believes that he's a slight risk, considering that is a large reason why the defendant license is suspended due to his previous FTAs out of other jurisdictions, Your Honor, including here in Georgia and out of state in Louisiana. In this incident in particular, as Your Honor knows, it occurred on September 8th, 2021 on 4555 Roswell Road, Sandy Springs, Georgia, where the defendant rear-ended a victim, and he did stop in that instance, but instead of stopping to render assistance and to give his information to that victim so that she can, they too can help handle this situation civilly, he got out the car being irate with her and drove off. She was able to have a video recorded of that incident, Your Honor, that she was able to take note of the defendant's Louisiana license tag for a 2018 Nissan Altima bearing 864CBF as the license plate, Your Honor. And she also heard the passenger in the car mention his name, Josh. She was able to give that information to the responding Sandy Springs police officer, who was able to run a GCIC and was able to positively identify the defendant. For those reasons, Your Honor, considering those FTAs, as well as the defendant's present fugitive for justice, the state, again, believes he's a flight risk and has a high risk of reoffending, and we're asking the court to honor the preset $5,000 surety bond.
All right, Ms. Gant?
Right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Joshua Myers is 32 years old. He was born in New Orleans. However, he has been in the Atlanta area since 2009. He is married and has been so for the last 2.5 years. He is the proud father of 3 children, and his wife and children are all present in Georgia with him. Your Honor, Mr. Myers is a Mr. Myers completed ninth grade. However, he went on to complete a trade as a chef, and he is currently employed at La Bistro on Piedmont. Your Honor, Mr. Myers denies the allegations. He denies being the driver. He states that he did stop to provide information to complaining witness Odessia Turner. However, the situation began to escalate. He states that he then provided his contact information with her and left because of the escalating situation. So therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Myers' behalf. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $1,000. And we are, no other objections to the conditions stated. Thank you.
Bond remains at $5,000. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. Next court date is going to be February 24th, 2022. And we're going to reset 2 cases to the next SAP calendar, which is going to be this new one, 22 CR 668G, as well as the other case, 20 CR 001931G. Both those cases are going to be reset. And apparently Mr. Myers' current address is not a deliverable address. Ms. Gant, do you have something different other than the Terminus Place location?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay.
Would you like for him to update now, Your Honor?
If he can relay that information to the deputy, we'll be able to send that to the state court. Because right now he's got a bond forfeiture warrant because of his undeliverable address. So if he has a good address to provide us, we'll be glad to update the system with it.
All right.
Yes,
thank you,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Myers, do you have a good address?
Yes, ma'am. I do. And I also wanted to ask, what was the other charge that you're saying that you're combining?
You have an open case for 2 counts of reckless conduct.
Okay. So you're saying you about to put that case with this hit and run case together on February?
I'm going to address both the cases on February 24th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, we have position number 1, Mr. Coles.
Just 1 second, please. We have Cameron Coles accused of criminal trespass at a motor facility, along with violation of certain, conducting certain acts that violate, which are prohibited at a bus, rail, or station. Apparently, allegedly trying to sell candy in one of the motor train cars. So, Mr. Coles, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, as well as your attorney, who is going to be Miss Wanda. Is it Miss Kim or Miss Gant?
Ms. Gant.
Okay, Miss Kim. All right. And Mr. Tucson, how many cycles does he have, please?
32.
Right, that's good. Thank you. And Ms. Webb, I'm familiar with the warrant. What is the bond recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is recommending a total $3,000 sign out bond, $500 for the fare evasion and $2,500 for the trespass, a stay away from the motor property, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, I just wanted to alert the court that I did speak with DeKalb's Solicitor General's office. The defendant was just released from DeKalb on February the 3rd for another trespass charge out of Brookhaven, but that incident did stem from an incident that occurred on October 14th of 2021. I was not able to get the full bond conditions on that, but he was aware to not, get back in trouble or anything of that nature. So I just wanted the court to be aware of those facts, Your Honor, and that the defendant does have 2 open trespass cases, that Brookhaven case and another out of Clayton County from 2019.
All right. You mentioned fare evasion, but I just saw that he was allegedly peddling candy on the model train.
Oh,
Was there
excuse
something
me.
else?
Excuse me, Your Honor. I misspoke. You're correct. I did not mean to say fare evasion.
No,
I meant to say
that's okay.
acts prohibited. Excuse me.
And his suspension currently at model, I just see an active suspension until March 8th.
Yes, Your Honor.
2022. Okay.
Yes,
So
Your
he
Honor. The
may have
defendant.
another one.
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant was issued a suspension on December 7th of last year, and it became effective on January 7th, 2022 of this year, and it does not end until March 8th, as you stated, Your Honor.
And last question is, you said a sign-out bond. Were you agreeing to a signature bond through the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so 500 on the fare evasion, and what was 3,000 on the criminal trespass?
It was 2,500 for the trespass, Your Honor, 500 for the acts prohibited, so totaling 3,000 signature bond.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kim, I guess we'll go with that, right? 3,000 signature bond through the jail and to stay away from all model property.
It's my client, Your Honor, and.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Kim, sorry.
We consent.
All right. Bond is set at $3,000. Breakdown is 500 and 2,500. Signature bond through the jail. Is he being picked up by Brookhaven or DeKalb? Does he have a hold?
They did not say that he had any holds. Now, I'm not for sure based on the bond conditions that he was issued on the 3rd, whether or not him getting this case on yesterday affects any of those bond conditions, but I'm presuming so. But the Solicitor General did not see any holds when I asked about that.
All right,
Your Honor.
I have a Westboro Drive address. Is that still a current and good address for Mr. Coles? Mr. Coles? I'm sorry?
He indicates that that is his current address.
Westboro?
1321 Westboro Drive, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, so he has the $3,000 signature bond through the jail. He is to refrain from going to any model property, and I don't care whether there's a suspension or not. Mr. Coles, you cannot step onto any model property, no train, no bus, no station, not their parking lot, sidewalks, and not their bathrooms. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If you return to that property and you get arrested again, this $3,000 signature bond will convert to a surety bond, which means that you get to stay with us until you bond out or have a trial. And the address your attorney just indicated, is that a good address?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right, you will get notice to come back to court sometime in the future. If you fail to show up, we get to arrest you again. Thank you.
I don't think,
We have position number 2, Mr. Harris, Marvin Harris.
Okay. Mr. Marvin Harris. Case number 22 CR 0000674C is accused of battery from a February 8th, 2022 incident. Mr. Harris has been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Ms.
Maureen McLeod, Your Honor. Good
Ms.
afternoon.
McLeod. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And any priors, Mr. Tucson?
3rd arrest. Last was 2016 battery family violence. It was amended to disorderly conduct conviction. 2016 theft by receiving dismissed. SOB jail is a recommendation.
Ms. Mitchell, I'm familiar with the warrant. He doesn't live at the location. Any objection to a SOB pretrial or jail?
Yes, Your Honor. And to my knowledge, I believe it was his home and the victim didn't live at the location, correct?
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was Chandler's and Harris was spending the night there.
that was spending the night there.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear him.
Your Honor, it is Mr. Chandler's home.
All
My
right.
client doesn't live there. He does have some stuff there which he needs to retrieve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'll proceed. The state's bond recommendation, current bond being that it's 2,000 surety, we're going to request that the bond remain the same with no further contact with Anthony Chandler, a one-day anger awareness course in no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the defendant in this case, he's had a battery family violence before that was amended to a disorderly conduct conviction in 2017. So that's going to be, in addition to that, he did admit to striking Mr. Chandler in the face with a closed fist that left the small laceration and nose on his lip. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation.
All right. And Ms. McLeod, does your client have an otherwise alternative residential address or good
He
mailing
does,
address?
Your Honor, and I just would like the court to know that the previous time that he was charged, he'd had a minor altercation with his sister. This was in 2016, which is some time ago. And as the court is aware, that was changed to disorderly conduct. So essentially, that's the only thing that's on his record. And that was in 2016. At this time, Your Honor, that's the only thing that he has on his record. He is not employed right now, so he's not able to post bond, Your Honor. So we are requesting a signature bond for him. We do not have any objection to the stay away from Mr. Chandler's home or Mr. Chandler's person. My client is fine with that because those are his plans to stay away.
Excellent. 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. Will you take him, Mr. Tucson?
I say no, you're gonna send him to the jail?
No, it's still going to be pretrial. All right.
So I guess it's per
25
judge, right?
Yes, per judge. And Ms. McLeod, it's going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services. He'll be reporting to pretrial once a month. No contact with Anthony Chandler. He may return and to stay away from the Lansing Street location, 1420 Lansing Street. He
Yes,
may
Your Honor.
return one time only with a police officer to retrieve his personal belongings. I can tell you for absolute certainty that a burrito is not going to be included in his personal belongings. But he will have to make sure that we have a current address on file so that we can send him his notices to appear in court next time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. No illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, no weapons, and no firearms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what was that bond amount? I missed it.
2,500.
2,500. If he gets arrested again for anything else, or if he violates the conditions of the bond, just be sure to bring $2,500 back to the jail. Thank you.
And that's a good bond?
That's a pretrial bond.
Okay, thank you.
Come on, Mr. Myers. Myers.
Thank you.
We got position number 3, Mr. Jackson.
All right. We have Mr. Jackson, Richard Morris Jackson, 22 CR 0000665G, who's accused of fare evasion and carrying a firearm without a proper license, a first offense. And this was from February 8th, 2022. Mr. Jackson has been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Ms. Wanda Gant. Mr. Tucson, any priors on Mr. Jackson?
You got open cases, 19 CP 186545, possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance, fail to have license on person, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, possession of drug-related objects, fail to maintain lane, DUI. You got 5 counts of contributing to delinquency of a minor. That's 20 CR 000-351G. Got another open case in state court for theft by receiving, 21 CR 005-863C.
All right. Ms. Webb?
Yes, Your
I'll
Honor.
address you, just one second. I'll address you shortly, Mr. Jackson, but just wait till we hear from the prosecution and your attorney. Yes, Ms. Webb, sorry about that.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the state is recommending a $4,000 surety bond for the carrying without a license, a $500 surety bond for the fare evasion, totaling $4,500 surety, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and a stay away from all modern property. As Your Honor knows, this incident took place on February 8th at the Lee Street West End MARTA station located at 680 Lee Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Again, that is the West End MARTA station. Excuse me, I think I misspoke. But we do believe this type of behavior is a threat to the community, Your Honor. We know firearms claim lives to many every single day in this country, and albeit we have a constitutional right to bear arms, there are certain laws that are in place and provisions that are in place for the safety of the gun holder and the general public, and carrying a concealed weapon while in public without a license is one of those measures that we use under Georgia law to promote gun safety, Your Honor. The defendant did enter into the West End MARTA station without paying for that fare by pushing through that entry gate, and when he was apprehended by MARTA PD, they did discover that he was carrying a Springfield 9mm XD with 17 rounds in the magazine and one in the chamber on his person, Your Honor. And for those reasons, those are the basis for the state's recommendation today.
All right. Ms. Gant?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Richard Jackson Jr. is 25 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has family here. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away from all MARTAs. Mr. Jackson does not have any transportation, so we're asking just instead, Your Honor, for a stay away from the 680 Lee Street Northwest MARTA station. Mr. Jackson has completed high school. He also plans to return to pursue a trade in plumbing. He is unemployed at the time, Your Honor, therefore he will not be able to pay much, if anything, toward bond. He denies the allegations. He states that he inserted his MARTA card and the machine indicated that his card was in use. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Jackson's behalf. Just given the nature of the allegations, these are non-violent offenses, and he has open cases. However, he is presumed innocent. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible for a signature bond, then I would ask for a split bond, and that would be a sign-on bond or signature bond for the fare evasion and a bond of no more than $500 for carrying weapon without a license, first offense. And Your Honor, he also states that he is in the process of applying for a permit for that firearm. Thank you.
Okay. Well, on the fare evasion is going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. On carrying a weapon without a license, given the nature of the allegations set forth in the warrant, it's a $2,000 surety bond. Surety bond. This is going to be a $2,500 split bond. Next court date is going to be February 24th, 2022 at 9 a.m. In addition to this particular new case, we also are going to have his two other cases set on the SAP calendar. The first one is 20 CR 000351G, and that case is assigned to Division Judge Mather. That will be placed on the 224 SAP calendar. The second case is 21 CR 005863. Is presently designated C to Judge Dixon's division. The clerk's office will have to amend that to Judge Mather's division. It has to be transferred back to the division with the older case. So we're going to redesignate that to a G, and both these cases will be scheduled on the 224 SAP calendar. So Mr. Jackson will be addressing 3 cases at SAP. All right. Yes, Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, unless you have a question about your bond or your court dates, I advise you not to speak.
All right, then we'll see all 3 cases for Mr. Yes.
So what would I, if I can bond out, what would I have to pay as far as?
I'll tell you. Don't worry about it.
All right. Thank you.
We got position number 8, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, excuse me, sorry. Let me get back to Mr. Jackson. Not only is his bond 2,500 split bond, but he has to stay away from all MARTA property, all of them, pending further order of the court. Sorry, is this Mr. Jameson?
This is position number 8, Your Honor. Position
Oh,
number
beg your pardon. Thank you. Mr. Keon Burley Stewart is accused of battery from a February 2nd, 2022 incident in accusation number 22 CR 000670B. Mr. Stewart, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Ms. Kim.
Miss
And,
McLeod, Your Honor.
oh, Ms. McLeod, sorry.
Yes, Your Honor.
I do beg your pardon. I just look and see whoever is unmuted. So Ms. McLeod, okay. And Mr. Tucson, any priors on Mr. Stewart?
13 adult arrests. Last arrest was on the 8th of June of last year, probation violation. 4 counts of bail jumping and possession of a firearm by convicted felon. That was out of Milwaukee. He has a fugitive warrant for bail jumping out of Milwaukee. He went to felony the other day and got a $4,000 good bond.
All right. And do you have the number for the felony case by any chance? All right, while we're waiting, Ms. Mitchell, what's your recommendation for this incident?
Yes, Your Honor. The bond recommendation from the state is going to be a $5,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Carteria, spelled Karteriya, Sims. Stay away from address 370 Northside Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. A one-day anger awareness program and no alcohol, drugs, and as Your Honor is aware, the defendant battered his girlfriend of 2 years, Ms. Sims, by punching and kicking her in the face and head. As a result, Ms. Sims suffered visible injuries to the left side of her face and above her left eye, with pain in her neck and head. The state's concerns here is defendant's risk of reoffending. The defendant is a convicted felon with a violent history in Wisconsin, where a majority of his history takes place. The Wisconsin criminal history doesn't list the dispositions on a lot of the charges, but it shows him as a convicted felon. The violent history includes a battery in 2017, armed robbery in 2015, and a battery to school district officer in 2014. The defendant also has the open case in Georgia that pretrial has already mentioned, in which he's being held on a $4,000 surety bond on those charges. Defendant is also a serious flight risk. He has 10 bail jumping charges and 1 arrest warrant charge and 4 probation violations, all in Wisconsin. He also appears to have an open case in Wisconsin that he's likely evading, where he's charged with probation violation, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and 4 bail jumping charges. Furthermore, the defendant doesn't appear to have any sufficient ties here in Georgia, being that the majority of his history takes place in Wisconsin.
And he's 22 years old, 23? I'm
He's
assuming
23 years old, Your Honor.
23 years old. All right, and Ms. McLeod, what do you recommend for your client?
Your Honor, my client has an outstanding warrant for extradition back to Wisconsin. He is unable to get bond here. He could pay for bond, but he can't get a bond. None of the bonding companies will give him a bond because he has a Wisconsin address. Mm-hmm. Based on that, I would ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond just for the purpose he's going to be extradited to another state. He is otherwise going to just be sitting in jail, Your Honor. There is another matter of his things which are still at his girlfriend's house. He's asking, Your Honor, he does have a brother here in the state of Georgia, and he's asking that the court issue an order allowing his brother, Quashawn Barnes is his brother's name.
I'm sorry, what's the name?
Quashawn, Qushawn, Barnes, Barnes, to have a police escort to go to his girlfriend's house to retrieve his things. All right.
Yes, I do see he has a fugitive hold, and I do see that he has a rather lengthy history Presently, his bond is going to remain at $5,000 on the battery charge. His case is going to be reset to 2/24/2022. No contact with Ms. Sims, Kateria Smith Sims. Yes, Ms. Paul, did you have a question?
And not so much a question, Your Honor, just I wanted to let the court know something. So on that 22 CP 206330 case that the defendant has upstairs in the DA's office, there's a simple assault charge attached to it. Miss Sims is this victim on that simple assault charge on the same date as this battery. So what appears to have happened is the DA's office and the clerk upstairs snatched up that charge when they weren't supposed to. So we're going to have to, I just want to let the court know, it's probably going to have to be reset tomorrow with Mr. Stewart. We can still obviously address the battery, but we're going to have to get it unattached from the Superior Court case, reattached to our case, and reaccuse it because it should have never gone with the Superior Court case in the first place.
All right. It's going to be a $5,000 good bond. No contact with Kateria Sims, to stay away from 370 Northside Drive in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're going to reset this case. Well, it's supposed to be reset for SAP on 2/24, but it's going to be specifically also reset to tomorrow's C calendar for the state to confirm one of two things. Either this particular case has been removed from Superior Court, and hence it is now a state court case, or whether the Solicitor General's office wants to, I don't know, null pros it as a duplicate and let Superior Court handle it on its own.
Your Honor, will the court be inclined to allow his brother with a police escort to retrieve his things from the home?
I don't know who is Quashawn Barnes, so I am not inclined to let someone who's a stranger to the court to engage with the alleged victim. So unless we can get some verification from victim advocate that Ms. Sims will permit this person, if she recognizes this person, to allow this person to go to her place and retrieve his belongings on his behalf, I don't have a problem with that, but I need the victim's input. All right. This case is, like I said, reset to tomorrow, 2/11, for purposes of the state to ascertain whether it's keeping the case, and also further reset to 2/24 if we have the case with us at that time. All right. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Stewart.
am I able to speak with the clerk?
I can't hear you.
I said now I'm able to speak before the court.
If you have a question about your bond, that would be permitted. If you have a question about the facts, underlying facts of the case, your attorney is definitely going to say no way. So
it's not about that. It's about my hold in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a failure to appear held. I'm not convicted. I'm just charged fighting cases for felony possession of firearm. I'm only a felon for possession of marijuana. I'm not a felon for nothing else. That's the reason why I became a felon December.
Mr. Stewart,
2019.
Mr. Stewart, my advice to you is not to discuss that with the court. The court is aware that it's just a hold, that you have not been convicted of anything of that particular charge in Wisconsin.
And just to add that, Mr. Stewart, let me just get one thing clear. That extradition hold in New Orleans has no bearing on my decision for the $5,000 signature bond. You are 23 years old and you have a whole lot more going than just that New Orleans matter. So if you are still at the Fulton County Jail, take a good hard look at your history, and then maybe you can figure out why your bond is $5,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is the other one. Next case, please.
No. We got position number 10, Mr. Upshaw.
Karan Lamar Upshaw is case 22 CR 0000672G. He's accused of cruelty, and yes, I know what the charge is. And the date is December 27, 2021. Mr. Upshaw has been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is going to be Ms. Kim. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Yep. Right. Thank you.
First
Okay.
arrest.
All right. Thank you. And Ms. Mitchell, I'm familiar with the warrant, so I've already read it. If you just give me a bond recommendation, we appreciate it.
Okay. Based on the allegations in the warrant, the state's bond recommendation is going to be a $3,000 surety bond, condition that he cannot own any animals of any kind, a one-day anger awareness program, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Upshaw is 22 years old, actually. He moved from California about 1.5 years ago, and he is an entertainer, and he's been doing his business very successfully. He graduated from high school, and sorry. Hello?
That's okay.
Yes.
Got it.
And he has 2 brothers and 1 sister, and he loves his animal. And he basically that he calls it baby, and that baby animal is actually his emotional support. So this is actually only first offense he has ever had. So we would like to request for a signature bond. And if he has to stay away from that, his dog, it will be very detrimental to his emotional health. And yet we would like to request for signature bond with basically, even though no further contact with his baby.
How
Thank you,
many
Your Honor.
pets are there in the household?
Just 1, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Bond is going to be set at $5,000. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. Any and all pets shall be removed from the household of Karan Lamar Upshaw. He is not permitted to own or have any pets within his possession, within his care, until further order of the court. No pets. And I'm going to require, if pretrial can help me out with this, if they can reach out to Fulton County Animal Control and see if they can check on Mr. Upshaw's residence at their discretion to make sure that there are no pets, no animals at the property. And to also take possession of the animal that is currently in Mr. I hope they have retrieved the animal. If not, any pet or any dog that is currently in possession of Mr. Upshaw has to be retrieved by Fulton County Animal Control Services.
I mean, will they come out and do it?
Yeah, they will come out to do it if it's in the order. I just want to see if pretrial can reach out to animal control to make sure it's done.
Yeah, just put it on the order.
Mr. Howard, I'm also going to reach out to Dina Gardner, who is our
Yeah, I know she used to work there.
ASG, to
Okay.
help assist us with that. So
Okay.
between the 2 of us, hopefully we can get that done.
Okay.
All right. Yes, Mr. Upshaw, do you have a question about your bond?
Yes, ma'am. Considering that this is my first offense, I am a law-abiding citizen. I work for, I apologize. I work for myself and I support me and my dog's financial and overall health. I completely agree with the dog being removed, but is there any way that the court can reconsider a signature bond so that I may go back to my career and my life immediately?
Ms. Kim, would you like to explain my bond to him, please? Ms. Kim? All right, let me go ahead and explain to you. You have a signature bond through pretrial services is $5,000. as long as you comply with the conditions of the bond. Report to pretrial once a month. You have to make sure you have no pets, no animals in your possession or under your care. You have to surrender any pets or animals that you have to Fulton County Animal Control Services. If you get arrested again for anything else, and I don't care what it is, jaywalking, spitting on the sidewalk, smoking weed on the sidewalk, I don't care what it is, your signature bond will be canceled and converted to a surety bond or to a cash bond. So presently, you do have a signature bond, but if you mess up, well, bring $5,000 with you the next time.
Thank you, Judge, for your grace, and thank you to.
All right. And so
Let's stay back from the mic.
maybe move on to our next case, please.
All right, thank you. You got position number 4, Mr. Jameson.
Thank you. I will give you this order. Position number 4. Chancellor Jameson is position number 4, 22 CR 000-666F. It's an ominous case number, but Mr. Jameson is represented by Ms. Wanda Gant, and let's see, accused of simple battery domestic violence. Mr. Tucson, any priors, please?
No.
Okay. And Ms. Webb, is it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And
Yeah, I've read the warrant with regards to, is it Carson or Kaysen? I think it was
I
Carson.
believe it's Kaysen.
Kaysen? Yeah,
And I
it's
believe
Kaysen.
she's on the call as well, if I
Okay.
saw her.
Okay. And what's the state's position?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from that incident location at 409 Temple Street. That's Temple, spelling Street, Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Miss Jordan Nay Kaysen. That's JORDANAY Kaysen. CASON. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, in a 1-day anger awareness. Your Honor, we are making this recommendation because the state is concerned with witness intimidation and a risk of reoffending. We understand that this is the defendant's first offense, but he did inform the responding officer that part of the reason why he slapped Ms. Kaysen that evening while she was sleeping was that he believed that she hit him first while he was sleeping and that he was under a lot of stress. So the state is concerned that whatever it is that may be stressing Mr. Chancellor and Mr. Jameson in his life right now, Your Honor, that if those stresses continue to be present and he doesn't find a healthy way to deal with them, that he may release that anger and that stress against Ms. Kaysen, and we do not want that to happen. So for those reasons, we are recommending that $1,500 surety bond today.
All right, Ms. Kaysen, if you could please unmute and start your video, only if you want to testify. If you don't want to, you have the absolute right to not testify.
Hello.
Yes, Ms. Kaysen, you need to start your video.
Yes.
Your Honor, I do apologize for interrupting. May I present before Ms. Kaysen?
I just had one question and I was going to go through the PDs. Ms. Kaysen, I'm sorry, I can't see you at all. There you are. Ms. Kaysen, do you want any contact with Chancellor?
Sorry, I believe I'm having bad connection.
All right, did you want contact with Chancellor Jameson?
No, and this is not his first time doing this.
Okay, and that's all I need to know. Thank you so much, Ms. Kaysen. Thank you. All right, Ms. Gant, yes.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Chancellor Jameson is 24 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has family here. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away order. He does not live there. Mr. Jameson completed high school. He also has computer credits in computer science. Mr. Jameson is unemployed at this time. Therefore, he does not have the ability to pay any bond. He denies the allegations, Your Honor. He denies being the primary aggressor. And because he has no violent history, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Jameson's behalf. And with regard to the state's contentions regarding witness intimidation and reoffending, again, Your Honor, my client has no criminal history, and we believe that with the stay away order and no further contact, we can achieve those purposes. And I did have the opportunity to speak out with Ms. Casey, and she again confirmed that she did not want contact. Thank you.
Oh, Thank you.
Yes.
Bond is set at $3,500, is a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Jordania Carson to stay 200 yards away from 409 Temple Street in Atlanta, Georgia. No illegal drugs, no weapons, no firearms, and no alcoholic beverages. He will report to pretrial once a month, and he may be subject to random screens. He will have to attend and complete a one-day anger awareness program. And within 30 days of being released, Mr. Jameson will have to come down to the clerk's office and confirm his mailing address so that he may receive notices to come back to court. Anything else, Ms. Gant?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Jameson.
Mr. Jameson?
Can I confirm address?
You can give it to the deputy and we'll put it in the chat feature, unless you want the whole world to know where you live.
No problem.
All right, and just to get back to Mr. Stewart, the alleged victim, Ms. Sims, has informed the victim advocates that she has already shipped all of Mr. Stewart's belongings to his sister in Wisconsin. So there is no purpose for a visit in that respect. All right. Moving on. Next case, please, in courtroom 2.
We got position number 7, Mr. Rochelle.
Mr. Rodriguez Rochelle is case number 22 CR 0000669H. And he is accused of the following: fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, reckless driving, passing with insufficient clearance, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and a vehicle window tint violation from a February 9th, 2022 incident. Mr. Rochelle's been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your
Any
Honor.
priors, Mr.
21
Tucson?
total.
Okay.
Last was December 2020. Possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Ag assault, kidnapping, armed robbery. There's an open pretrial case, possession of a controlled substance, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. It's 21 CP 196540. The ag assault and armed robbery, that's 20 CP 196475. So we got a couple of open cases.
Huh?
You want more or that's enough?
No, that's good. That's good.
I think that pretrial bond is like 10,000, something like that.
On the 21 CP case,
The 20 CP case.
20 CP case, the one ending in 6475.
I think so. Let me look.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell, what is your recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is going to be a $2,500 surety bond as to count 1, $2,000 surety as to count 2, $2,000 surety as to count 3, a $2,500 surety as to count 4, and a $1,000 surety as to count 5, totaling a $10,000 surety bond, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Would Your Honor like me to familiarize?
No, I've read the warrant. Thank you.
Okay. The state's concerns here is defendant's risk of reoffending. He is a convicted felon with an extensive criminal history, as pretrial stated. The defendant has a prior escape and obstruction conviction in 2007, an obstruction conviction in 2005, a fleeing and eluding charge in 2019, as stated, obstruction charge in 2015, and a slew of violent and drug-related charges. The defendant's current case from December, where he's facing his felony charges, were already discussed by pretrial. The defendant was released on a $50,000 surety bond on January 29th of 2021 on that case. He was also given a $2,000 surety bond on his most recent obstruction charge in 2015, where he later failed to appear on and had to serve time. The state's also concerned that defendant is a flight risk due to his fleeing and eluding charge in 2019, his FTA in 2017, and his escape conviction in 2017, as well as his FTA in 2006. Additionally, he has 5 probation violations. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
Understood. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. He is 34 years old and he has had 2 successful business, self-employed with his wife together. They work as a truck driver. They deliver furnitures from Lowe's every day. They go there at 10 a.m., delivers furnitures to the customers. And also there's another business they have. They make a design and make t-shirts. And his wife I spoke with his wife, and his wife want to talk about like how he's not a danger to the society and he has no flight risk. He has been a great provider for his 4 children. He has 1 son and 3 girls. And we would like to request for low security bond of $1,000. Thank you, Your Honor.
On each count, the bond's going to be $1,500 with the exception of the window tint transmission violation, and that's going to be $500. That's going to be a total of $6,500 surety bond. And his next court date is going to be February 24th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, so was there anything on the window tint one, or was that just
500, 500, 1,500 on each count. The window tint is 500.
Gotcha.
Total
Thank
should
you.
be 6,500. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're completed here in courtroom 2. May we be excused? Or do
Yes.
you need to reach out to South Annex?
Will do.
All right,
Will do.
I'll reach out to South Annex.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And Deputy, sorry, could you let Mr. Stewart know that his belongings have been shipped to his sister in Wisconsin?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
And Mr. Jordan, I believe that we have Mr. Jameson's current address as the Connolly Street location is listed on the chat.
Yep, Your Honor. Mr. Stewart heard you. He wants to ask you a question though.
All right.
She have 23,000 a month. I have legal documentation for that money. Jewelry, I have legal documentation for that. I run my own breeding dog business. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting the bank statements mailed to my brother today. She have my money. I have voice recordings of them saying they're not giving me my money and my things. I even have text messages in my phone about regarding my money and my things. And I'm saying I'm not getting nothing of my things. And I have legal documentation for my money and my things.
I'm sorry, what are you asking the court? You just told me that you're very rich. So what are you trying to tell me?
No, I'm not saying I'm very rich. I want my things. I want to see how can I go about this situation the legal way.
All right, you can reach out to Ms. McLeod on how to retrieve your belongings.
Ms. McLeod, would you like me to give him your number? The one that we reach you at?
Yes.
Not a problem.
All right, thank you, courtroom 2. We concluded. I'm just going to go over the calendar with the attorneys. And South Annex, if you are ready, I don't see them listed, so we're going to wait for them to appear.
Your Honor, just so that I may clarify for the victim, is he allowed a one-time escort or no? I just want to make that clear for her. Because she did tell our victim advocate that
I did. I believe that I allowed for a one-time visit for position 8. Now, hang on. This
No,
is not
Your
a
Honor, you
domestic-
did not. You
No, I did not,
I
because
had
this is-
asked whether or not his brother could go, and the court had said no to that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was one.
But he had indicated that he had some significant amount of money still in our possession.
Well, then that's
That
a
he wants
civil
to get
matter that he has to address. But in terms of returning to the property, I did not, because this is not a DV matter.
I understand.
All right, thank you. All right, may I move on? Okay. South Annex, sounding up for them anytime? Position 1, Coles is a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Position 2 is a $2,500 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position 3, Jackson, is a $2,500 split bond, reset date February 24th. Position 4 is a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. We are waiting to address position number 5 at the South Annex. Position 6 is Myers, is a $5,000 surety bond, reset 2/24. Position 7 is a $6,500 surety bond, reset date February 24th. Position 8 is a $5,000 straight bond and surety bond, reset date is actually February 11th for this case to be resolved with Superior Court, and then further notice for SAP on February 24th if the case remains with state court. Position 9 is pending South Annex, and position 10, Upshur, is a 5,000 signature bond for pretrial with directive to the Fulton County Animal Control. And position 11 is a position waiting at the South Annex. So any questions so far? No? Okay, we will just be in holding pattern until the South Annex appears. Thank you.
It might be a minute. Felony is in recess now because they're interviewing Bridget Tate. So they'll probably chime in after that.
Okay.
That's why I was not able to interview.
Yeah, that's why you can't talk with her now.
All right, we'll just be in recess until, unless for positions 5, 9, or 11, who is the ASG for those? Unless the prosecution has.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm position 5.
Okay, and did you have a issue with bond in that case? A signature bond?
I believe we are recommending a signature bond in that case, actually, Your Honor. Let me just double check. That is Miss
Jessica Johnson.
Jackson, or is it Jackson? Johnson. Yes,
Yeah.
Your Honor, the state is actually recommending a $3,500 signature bond. We just wanted to make sure we issued a no further contact with Miss Patrice Thompson and a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a 1-day anger awareness.
Yeah, I'm reading the warrant. I think we need to have her appear so we can articulate that. So Miss Kim, are you the PD for that case?
I
No?
am, Your Honor.
Miss McLeod? Okay,
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
McLeod, I'm just going to get just a preliminary information. So $3,500 signature bond is recommended by the state, and no further contact with Patrice Thompson, no drugs, alcohol, and weapons, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. I think that would my client would be okay. I haven't spoken to her yet, but I hardly expect her to object to a signature bond with those conditions.
Well, considering the warrant, I just like her to be there to make sure she understands that
I understand.
telling her to stay away. So the next one is position 9, Bridget Tate. Any objection to a signature bond in that case? Ms. Mitchell?
Yeah, sure. The state is going to request that the bond remain the same for that case.
We'll wait for the state to appear. And position 11, Carson Ward.
Yes, the state objects to a signature bond. We're recommending a $4,000 shirt.
Okay. We will then wait until all 3 of them appear from the South Annex. Sorry about that. We'll be in recess until the South Annex appears. Thank you.
Thank you.
in the Zoom anyway. So
All right, I was just informed that South Annex is ready. Deputy Milton, hello? 5 more minutes?
Right, now, bear in mind that if you fail a drug test or you don't follow pretrial rules, they may surrender your bond and then you'll be sitting in jail with no bond on these charges. So please make sure you follow the rules, okay? Yes, ma'am. All right, good luck to you, Ms. Tate.
And Ms. Tate, just to reiterate, it'll be no bond for possibly several months. It'll be no bond for if you are rearrested, it'll be no bond for possibly several months.
Yes,
Okay, Deputy Milton, you might want to mute South Annex. I think somebody might be talking.
Signing myself out.
Yes.
Deputy Milton, please mute South Annex.
Okay, Your Honor, what did she get? And what's the?
No, Deputy Milton, please mute.
Level 1.
Oh, that's.
She got pre-trial for the felony charge. Where my files at?
Thank you for your patience. I'm gonna log on to the next computer so that the ladies can hear you because this computer is very low. I'm gonna log off here and would the host log me back on, please? Hey, Miss J, come on. I haven't seen
All right, we are going to commence with the Fulton County State Expedited Accusation Calendar. This is a list of cases for misdemeanor offenses, not felony. These are misdemeanor offenses. Individuals who were just booked at the jail have been formally accused by the Fulton County Solicitor General's Office, which is the prosecutor for state court. This would be the defendant's initial appearance before a judicial officer. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and one will be appointed to represent you if you cannot afford one. All right, we will address the lady seated up in the front. Who is that, please?
This is Miss Ward. Sit back, sit back. Hello, Your Honor.
All right, hello. We have Ebony Ward Carson, accused in 22 CR 0000673J of battery domestic violence from a February 9, 2022 incident. Ms. Ward Carson, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. McLeod. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's you're the only PD on the screen.
I have Miss Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Ms. Johnson. Okay,
Yes,
I have
yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wanda Gant or Ms. Kim. I know Ms. Kim was having problems with her Zoom link. Ms.
Your
Gant?
Honor, it's Ms. Kim's case, and
I have Ms. Johnson here if you want to take her.
All right, we'll address Ms. Ward Carson in a few moments. We're just waiting for Ms. Kim to reconnect. Ms. Wanda Gant, who do you have representing?
Come on, Ms. Johnson.
All right, we have Jessica Johnson, accused in case number 22 CR 0006678. Ms. Jessica Johnson has been accused of simple battery from a February 9th, 2022 incident. Ms. Johnson, your attorney is Ms. McLeod,
Yes,
and
Your Honor.
she is present. We have had a sidebar between the prosecution and the defense, and there's been an agreement that your bond is going to be 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services, which means you don't have to pay for your bond today, but you must report to pretrial once a month, and you have to comply with certain strict conditions. Before I get into the conditions, I see that Ms. Patrice Thompson is on the Zoom conference. Would you like to address the court? You don't have to, but you are welcome to. Ms. Patrice?
I see her name there, but I don't see her.
Yes, Ms. Johnson, but this is not for a moment for you to chime in. All right. So with regards to your bond, it is a $3,500 signature bond, and you don't have to pay for that today. But if you fail to comply with the conditions that I'm putting forth, you will be rearrested, brought back to jail, and your bond will convert to a $3,500 cash bond or surety bond. Do you understand?
Yes.
First condition is no contact with Ms. Patrice Thompson, to stay away from the location at 450 Cedar Wood Court in South Fulton. If Ms. Patrice Thompson is residing there, you cannot reside at that location. You may return to that location one time only with a police officer to retrieve your personal belongings. Within 30 days of being released from the jail, you shall update the court clerk's office with your current mailing address. Failure to do so will result in a bench warrant being issued against you if you fail to show up at your next court date. No illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, no weapons, and no firearms. Do you understand, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am. However,
Miss Johnson, I will speak with the judge.
okay, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. McLeod, anything to address?
Yes, Your Honor, I had an opportunity to speak with my client, and what she tells me is that this was a warrant which was taken out by the police officer as opposed to by her partner. The alleged victim is her partner for over 20 years. They have been living together for 20 years. They take care of 4 special needs people together. She says it was a total misunderstanding, and it wasn't like they had a fight or anything. She was the one who, in fact, called the police because she had lost something. She was trying to find her identification because she was supposed to be going to the airport. And she said she was just saying goodbye to Patrice, and she touched her on the shoulder, and that was when the officer said somebody had to get arrested, and she was going to arrest both of them. So she said, if you know, instead of arresting both of us, you can take me. But she knows that Patrice, who's also she's on Zoom, Your Honor, doesn't want a stay away contact or anything. They haven't had any issues between them, and they've been together for 20 years. There's no previous anything, and they have these 4 special needs people that they take care of together. So any stay away order would be a hardship for both of them, Your Honor, not just for my client.
I understand, but in reading the warrant and the fact that Ms. Patrice is not responding to the court's call, I'm going to maintain the no further contact. Of course, if once Ms. Patrice Thompson consults with the Victim Advocates Division, the solicitor may submit a proposed order to amend it to a no further violent contact.
So Patrice needs to do what?
Patrice needs to contact the Victim
Oh, thank
Advocates
God.
Division.
I think she's finally on this call. Thank God. Patrice, are you here?
When I spoke with someone this morning, I already suggested a no violent contact. That's the only thing I wanted to say.
All right, that's excellent, Ms. Patrice, but I need to see you because I cannot address someone who is not on video.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. Okay.
And Patrice,
Be quiet.
But Mr.
Please
Johnson,
mute
you
South
shouldn't
Annex.
speak.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, and if I may, for as far as the no further violent contact, well, first, let me back up. The statements about the officer saying that she needed to arrest someone, Your Honor, it has been noted that the City of South Fulton Police Department has responded to that location for similar instances before. And about the ID, she accused Ms. Patrice of hiding the ID from her and that she locked her out of the house, Your Honor. And Ms. Patrice actually told Officer Riley, who responded to the scene, that the defendant was running around the house and chasing her and kept touching her. And the reason why she was actually arrested, Your Honor, is because the officer was going to release her on a copy of charges because it wasn't any per se violent contact at that time, but she did turn violent while the officer was on the scene. Ms. Patrice was sitting in her car at that time and the defendant knocked on the car window despite the officer telling her repeatedly, don't do that, Your Honor. In addition to, the officer told her, hey, don't talk to her, just get what you need and go. And she refused to comply and was yelling at Ms. Patrice Thompson while the officer was on the scene. So to make it seem like, oh, it's just a mere misunderstanding and that the officer abused discretion and just had to arrest someone because they would called out to the scene, Your Honor, is a skew on the events when the officer was actually going to release the defendant on a copy of the charges. And it's because of the defendant's actions that she was arrested.
All right. Okay, so Ms. Patrice, are you able to activate your video?
Yes.
All right, and do you have a room with better lighting?
Hold on.
All right. There we go.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Patrice, if you'd like to have there we go. All right, ma'am, did you want to say anything to the court? I need to place you under oath.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Hello? Back and I can't hear anything. Okay, okay, ready? Because it's going in and out. Hold on.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Are you comfortable with Miss Jessica Johnson living with you again?
Yes, as long as there's no violent contact.
Mm-hmm. And are you comfortable with her, well, you said no violent contact. So she can live in the same house and she can have interactions with you. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Any questions from Ms. Webb or Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your
No.
Honor. I have a question. Miss Thompson, I can't see you on my screen for some reason. You just escaped me. But Miss Thompson, who called the police that evening?
Jessica.
Can you describe to the court what events led up to the police being called?
I locked her out.
And why did you lock her out?
I just rather not talk about it. I just said that it's fine as long as it's no violent contact.
Your Honor, considering that this is a simple battery case, I would ask the court to compel the witness to answer the question as it is relevant to why the police was probably called that night.
This is a DV with the alleged victim. I'm not going to compel such information.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor, the state rest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Bond is going to be amended to a $5,000 signature bond instead of $3,500. She may have no further violent contact with Ms. Patrice Thompson, and she may return to the home at Cedarwood. No illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, no weapons, and no firearms. Ms. Johnson will report to pretrial once a month. And Ms. Johnson, instead of a one-day anger awareness program, I'm going to require you to do a 2-week anger management program at your expense while you are released on a signature bond. Your next court date is going to be mailed out to you. And hopefully by your next court date, you would have completed the 2-week anger management program. You will also be subject to random screens for drugs and alcohol by pretrial. If you get arrested again for any other crime, if you engage in any physical or verbal altercation with Ms. Patrice Thompson that involves the police again, the only person who's coming back to jail is Jessica Johnson. Do you understand, Ms. Johnson?
Okay, yes. Yes. Yes, I understand.
That concludes this case. Next case, please.
All right, come on, have a seat this. That's $5,000 SOB, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Ms. Ward. You don't want to do that, right? No, I'm not going to do that. Take the question.
Ms. Ward Carson's already been advised of her rights, and her attorney is Ms. Kim. Mr. Tucson, any priors on Ms. Ward Carson?
7 total. Last arrest was 2014, suspended license. Conviction, 2013 public order crime, first offender. Another 2013 public order crime, 06 DUI conviction. She don't have any violence. That's it.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is going to be a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with victim Imani, spelled Emiani Harris, stay away from address 50.
I'm sorry, Ms. Mitchell.
My apologies. I believe I have the wrong address on my.
I have a Middleburg Drive, is that correct?
Yes, that sounds more accurate. The address on here is wrong, but I'll confirm that in just a moment. 1-day anger awareness program and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. The state's concerns that the defendant used a weapon to hit Ms. Harris in the head that could have resulted in more serious injuries. She also has a felony conviction and 3 misdemeanor convictions in her criminal history. So that's going to be the basis of our recommendation, Your Honor.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. She actually acted on her self-defense, so she denies all the allegations. She's 48 years old, and actually the house, 2825 Middlebrook Drive, is her place. And the complaining witness actually is incarcerated here not here in Fulton County, but Forsyth County. So she's no longer there. So I think it is safe to return back home where she is the person who owns that place. And also she graduated from high school and she works, she has only 4.9 hours away from getting a bachelor's degree from Boyle Heights University. And she has 3 children and she's responsible for her father who's in wheelchair. So she really has to get out of the jail. Right now, she cannot afford any surety bond. So we would like to request for signature bond since this is first violence offense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond is set at $3,500. It's a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Emiani Harris. She may return to 2825 Middleburg Drive in Atlanta, Georgia, as long as Miss Emiani Harris has not returned there. I'm assuming that's the mom's property?
Yes.
All right, so she may return to that location. No illegal drugs, no alcoholic beverages, and no weapons and no firearms. Her next court date will be mailed to her at the Middleburg location.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
And
did
now
you
we
order a
have-
one-day anger awareness course?
Yes, while she's out on pretrial bond, she will complete a one-day anger awareness program with pretrial services. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Tate?
Ms. Tate, come on. Yes. Come on, Ms. Tate, switch, please. Yes.
Ms. Bridget Tate has been accused of false report of a crime in case 22 CR 000-671C. This is from a January 19, 2021 incident. And Ms. Tate, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is going to be Ms. Kim. Any priors, Mr. Tucson?
Second arrest, 2010, forgery in the first, financial identity fraud. I think those were a dead docket.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. The current bond on this case is a $2,500 surety bond, and the state is going to request that that bond remain the same with no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. The fact of the matter is defendant falsified a story and reported it to a law enforcement officer that could have resulted in the arrest of an innocent man. This is not a situation the state takes lightly, and we do not want to accuse or prosecute an innocent man based on a false report. So that's going to be our basis for the recommendation.
All right. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. She is 31 years old and she actually denies the allegation. It was not a false report. She wanted to protect herself and her two little children from the person who is no longer there. He's completely gone about a year ago. He was very dangerous to her. And she is the person who needs protection from a dangerous person. And right now, she is currently paying for the rent and lease, and that place does not have the person who was in that warrant. Mr. Jaku Smith has been gone from her life about a year, so she can return home safely. And she really needs to go back to work from Monday. She has two children. They are 11 years old and 8 years old. Her parents, she lost her father last year because of COVID, and she does not have her mother either. So she has to go back to take care of her children. She's working as a cleaning technician, sanitization technician for 11 years, and she does not have much saving to pay for a surety bond. So we request for signature bond, Your Honor, since this is, it was not a false report. Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond is set at $2,500. It's a signature bond through the jail. If she gets arrested again for anything else, that bond may be converted to a surety bond or a cash bond. Her next court date will be sent to her. Well, I understand that she may have other matters holding her, so.
No, she already been to felony, Your Honor, and she got a UJR on both charge under possession and operating without lights.
All right, that's good then. We will then send the next court date notice to her address.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. That, I believe, concludes the calendar. Did you all want me to go over that again, or we good?
Judge Law, thank you, everybody, for your patience with me today.
No problem. We understand. You take care. Be
All
sure.
right, bye.
Be good. Bye-bye. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Last week we had an individual who had an issue with trying a case with so many women on the Zoom. So public defense and pretrial, please encourage the other half to participate in our Zoom conferences. I certainly don't want to be stuck in that spot.
What happened now?
Oh, Tucson, you didn't know that?
What happened? I didn't hear. What happened?
All right, we can conclude with court first. Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'll be in the courtroom.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Be good.